Hello friends, I am Dr. B.V. Pawar, working as assistant professor in Department of Chemistry, Oakley Education Society's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Jawar, District Palghar. Today we are going to study molecular orbital theory for heteronuclear diatomic molecules and polyatomic species. In yesterday's video lectures, we saw the principle of molecular orbital theory. Actually, molecular orbital theory was first developed by F. Hund and R. A. Mulliken in 1932. This theory is more advanced than the valence bond theory. To understand molecular orbital theory, two major approaches we studied. We want to understand, that is, on the basis of valence bond theory and molecular orbital theory, that how interaction of atomic orbitals takes place in order to develop the molecular orbital theory. So for molecular orbital theory, when two atoms come close to one another, the two atomic orbitals are combined, or they come in contact with each other when they having a comparable energy, same symmetry, and possesses large overlap so as to form the molecular orbitals. Once the molecular orbitals are formed, then this molecular orbital is of two types. One is called as bonding molecular orbital. It is denoted as psi A, and other is anti-bonding molecular orbital, denoted as psi B. How bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals are formed by combination of atomic orbital, this can be understood with the help of one principle called as LCO principle, that is linear combination of atomic orbitals. So when two atomic orbital, let's say here one is 1s orbital of one hydrogen atom and other is a 1s orbital of another hydrogen atom. So when these two atomic orbitals combines, why they are combined? Because they are having same molecular, same energy, same symmetry, and that's why they form a two molecular orbital. One is called as bonding molecular orbital and other is anti-bonding molecular orbital. Bonding molecular orbital is denoted as sigma and anti-bonding molecular orbital is designated as sigma star. For one hydrogen molecule, one hydrogen atom which having one electron in 1s orbital, atomic orbital, and another hydrogen atoms having another 1s orbital. You just see here, this is one hydrogen atom, this is another hydrogen atom. So electronic configuration of one hydrogen atom is first one is 1s1, second one is also 1s1. So this one electron is written here in 1s orbital, this is another electron in another 1s orbital. So when these two atomic orbitals are combined, they combine to form two molecular orbital. One is sigma, another is a sigma star. Now once the molecular orbital formed, bonding molecular orbital having lower energy, that's why it is denoted as sigma. Anti-bonding molecular orbital having more energy, it is denoted as sigma star. So when the electrons fill, so again the filling of electrons in molecular orbital takes place by again Pauli exclusion principle, Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity, and above principle. That's why both electron goes into the lower energy orbital, that is a sigma orbital. So that you have to remember. Now molecular orbitals are polycentric while atomic orbitals are monocentric, that we had already discussed in last video lectures. On the basis of valence bond theory, atomic orbital retain their identity in a molecule, but in molecular orbital theory, that identity is lost. So according to molecular orbital theory, greater the overlap of atomic orbitals, stronger will be the bond formed, and therefore bond will be formed only when there is a positive overlaps, which are going to take place in the wave function. That is, positive overlap of one atomic orbital combines with or positive lobe of one atomic orbital combines with positive overlap of another atomic orbital. So that is called as a same sign, same one wave functions, and the result in the formation of bonding molecular orbitals which have stronger energy. In case of s orbital, the sign of wave function is same throughout as it is spherical and non-directional, but for p and d orbital we have different sets, and therefore their arrangement of overlap will be different and result into different kinds of overlap, like positive overlap, negative overlap, or zero overlap. The atomic orbital which overlap along the internuclear axis gives sigma bonding molecular orbital, while the lateral overlapping of atomic orbital result into pi bonding molecular orbitals. The sigma bonding and pi bonding molecular orbitals, these are the two important orbitals which are formed when atomic orbitals overlap, depending upon their orientation or depending upon the nature of overlap. The sigma bonding and sigma star antibonding have cylindrical symmetry around the internuclear axis, but pi molecular orbitals are asymmetric around the internuclear axis. So the angular part of wave function of s and p d orbital can be described in the form of g-rayed and un-g-rayed. G-rayed means even and un-g-rayed means odd or uneven. When s orbital is g-rayed, as their angular wave function is same, whereas that means for s orbital the wave function is having a g-rayed sign because of same symmetry. Similarly, there is no change in sign for dxz orbital and dz square orbital. That means all d orbitals are g-rayed, but p orbitals are unsymmetric, that means they are un-g-rayed. So p orbital is denoted by a symbol u, while s and d orbital they are denoted by a symbol g. The g-rayed and un-g-rayed nature of s-p-d orbitals are shown in a geometry, shown in a diagram that you have to remember. Now we have different symmetry of molecular orbitals depending upon the kind of overlap. Here the formation of molecular orbitals from atomic orbital as shown in diagram. So in first A diagram you can see that a s orbital of one atom combines with s orbital of another atom to form a sigma s molecular orbital. Okay, so there is what kind of arrangement or what kind of combination takes place that you have to remember for the formation of molecular orbital. One s orbital or s orbital added with another s orbital, so there is formation of sigma s molecular orbital. But if same orbitals are subtracted from one another, that is s orbital is subtracted from another s orbital, then there is these two can be written as in the form of antibonding molecular orbitals. So in first A type of combination their addition takes place, while in B type of combination there is a subtraction takes place. So addition always gives you bonding molecular orbital, while the subtraction of atomic orbital always gives you a antibonding molecular orbital. Now if you go for the px orbital, now px orbital of one atom combines with px orbital of another atom. Again here addition takes place, and therefore there is formation of sigma px type of molecular orbital, which is again an addition product. So this is a bonding molecular orbital. But same px orbital, if it is subtracted, two px orbital if they are subtracted of two different atoms, then there is formation of antibonding molecular orbital, that is a sigma star px. So remember, if the lobe of orbital, same sign of lobe of orbital combine, there will be addition takes place, and if there is a say opposite signs of orbitals, lobe of orbitals combines, then there is subtraction takes place, that you can see in a C and D type of figure in a 2.3 diagrams or figure in 2.3. In E combination, px orbital, sorry, actually C and D is a pz orbitals because Z is a internuclear axis, while px and py orbital, what happen if you combine there by addition way, then there is a bonding molecular orbital form, that is px, sigma px, and not sigma px but is a pi px. Why it is called as pi px? Because there is a these two orbitals combine laterally. In above 4 cases they are in overlap along the internuclear axis. That's why they form a sigma bond. Sigma bond is formed by when there is a combination of atomic orbital along the internuclear axis. But for px and py, if they are combined laterally, and therefore they form a pi type of molecular orbital, pi bonding molecular orbital. So again here, if same lobe of px or pz combines, then there is formed a bonding molecular orbital, that is pi px or pi py. But when the px and py or molecular orbitals, atomic orbitals are subtracted from one another, then there is formation of an antibonding molecular orbital, that is pi star x px and pi star py. So this table clearly inform you that how the combination of atomic orbital takes place. If there is addition, then there will be a sigma type of bonding takes place. If there is a subtraction, there will be a sigma star, that is anti-bonding type of molecular orbitals are formed, right? And we studied this bonding and anti-bonding type of molecular orbital when we have a AsP and S type of orbitals, as well as px, py, pz type of atomic orbitals. When they combine in addition as well as subtraction manner, we will get a different types of molecular orbitals. You should know that atomic orbitals should satisfy the following 3 conditions when they produce the molecular orbitals. So what are that condition actually to get the more stable molecular orbital? So first, atomic orbital must have the same symmetry or same energy, or approximately same energy. Second thing is they must have same or matching symmetry. And third thing is atomic orbital must possess positive overlap to form bonding orbitals. So once the atomic orbital having above 3 kinds of conditions, then and then only they combine and form the molecular orbitals, stable molecular orbitals. The following table also gives the atomic orbital that can combine to form the particular molecular orbitals. So this is again very simple way. Suppose I have a 2 atom A and atom B. For atom A, its 1s orbital combines with 1s orbital of B atom. Again, if this combination takes place by addition way, then there is formation of a sigma 1s orbital. Okay. Now this sigma 1s orbital is a G-red orbital because it is again a symmetric. But 1s orbital when combines with another 1s orbital of A atom combines with 1s orbital of B atom by subtraction manner, then there is formation of antibonding molecular orbital called as sigma star 1s. Okay. So this sigma star 1s, now it is a un-G-red because combination is there a subtraction, and therefore it is called as sigma star U orbital. 2s orbital of A atom combines with 2s orbital of B atom by addition manner, there is formation of sigma 2s bonding. If they are subtracted from one another, 2s orbital of A atom subtract with 2s orbital of B atom, there is formation of sigma star 2s orbital. Again, bonding molecular orbitals are denoted as G-red, while antibonding molecular orbitals are denoted as un-G-red. Similarly, 2pz orbital of A atom combines with 2pz orbital of B atom, there is formation of sigma 2pz orbital. Again, this is a G-red type of symmetry or combination. But 2pz orbital of A atom subtracted with 2pz orbital of B atom, there is formation of sigma star 2pz orbital. Again it is denoted as sigma star U type of geometry. Now if you take again 2px orbital of A atom combines with 2px orbital of B atom by subtraction, when there is formation of pi 2px orbital. Now here is what? This overlap is a lateral overlap. Same thing for 2py if there is addition takes place. If they are subtracted from one another, that is means 2px orbital of A atom subtracts with 2px orbital of B atom, there is formation of anti-bonding orbital. What are that? Pi star 2px orbital and pi star 2py orbital. So that is how the molecular orbitals are formed. So in this diagram you can see that when atomic orbital combines in a proper manner, that is formation of a different types of molecular orbitals. So sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, sigma 2pz, sigma star 2pz, pi 2px, pi 2py, pi star 2px, pi star 2py. These are what? These are called as a molecular orbitals, and these molecular orbitals are formed by combination of atomic orbitals. Okay, so that you have to remember. Now molecular orbitals are classified in shortly as sigma, pi and delta according to the rotational symmetry about their internuclear axis. So remember, sigma 1s means axial overlapping of two atomic orbitals resulting in bonding MOs with even in symmetry. So G stand for even means same, that you have to remember. So this is just for today's video lecture. So we will stop here. Thank you. Manus.